Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning as we plod on along through this week. All right. So we've all heard, seen, talked about, prepper channels especially, the potential for civil war coming. And anybody that is not taking that seriously needs to get their head examined. You look around the world at what's going on right now. We've got riots in Great Britain because, and it's a little weird because you can tell how misinformed people are, but civil war. Because they've got a huge immigration problem, North Africa and the Middle East, people coming to Great Britain being welcomed with open arms. And they've got similar problems that we do. Crime going like crazy because you've got a bunch of heathens coming in that have never been civilized in the first place, and so they are attacking British citizens. The problem we have the big issue with the stabbing of the 3 girls last week, is that wasn't an immigrant. That was a British citizen who just happened to look different than other people. That gets scary. Then you go to New Zealand, who on Thursday passed a law where get this, okay, this is 2024, not 2021, passed a law where the police can arrest you for not being stabbed in the shoulder and forcibly do it to you. Okay? You take a look at what's going on in Australia, you take a look at what's going on in Germany, what's going on in France, and you start to see the Western world is being taken over. We're collapsing. The United States is the same, though we have a similar but different issue. Yes, we're being invaded by immigrants, illegals here. They don't call them that in Europe. I don't know why, but that's what they are. They are illegal aliens. You can sugarcoat it all you want, but that's the answer. Ours are coming more from Mexico, Central and South America. Granted, there's plenty of people from almost every other country in the world that are coming across the southern border, but primarily it is those of Hispanic/Latino ancestry. No problem. Okay. Just come legally. That's all we're asking. We don't want to keep you out. We just want you to do it the right way. That's it. We want people to be vetted. We want to make sure we're not letting in terrorists. Like we wind up catching everyday criminals. It's like, oh, gee, open up the news and there's another rape, murder, child abduction, whatever, constantly. This is the civil war that is going to happen. And I've talked about it before. It's not like it's not going to be political. It's going to be racial and religious. We know there is a war on Christianity in the United States. Our government is openly anti-Christian. No problem. We have the whole religious war going on in the Middle East right now between the inhabitants of Gaza and the Israelis. We have the whole problem with the invasion of Europe. We're going to have that problem here. It's not going to, like I said, it's not going to be political. Everybody's not running around with red and blue t-shirts on. That's not how this is going to happen. You look at yesterday, and Jamie Raskin, if you're familiar with who is, this is the brain-dead liberal from Maryland who is, the guy is just a complete moron. There's no other way to describe him. But there was a video that got leaked somehow that was recorded back in February where he was discussing, of course with a bunch of other liberal morons, that if Trump gets reelected, that Congress has to do everything they could to invalidate the election or risk civil war. Now, are we saying that the Democrats are going to tell, I don't know, how many votes Trump going to get this time? 70, 80, 90, 100 million? Sorry, we don't think so. I mean, the Democrats already had no problem invalidating the wishes of 14 million people who voted for Joe Biden to be the candidate. And Nancy and Chuck and the whole gang there said, nah, we don't think so, Joe. You're going to be forced out. So we'll make the decision. Don't worry about what 14 million people said. So now, are we going the same thing that Congress is going to go, no, we don't agree with you on electing Donald Trump. We're going to make sure he's not president. No, this is not how this country works. And the checks and balances that we have are supposed to mean that Jamie Raskin, okay, you're a radical idiot. You should be voted out. Well, the way the politicians in Washington, both sides, have rigged the game, it's very, very difficult to kick out an incumbent, to get him unelected, because the money machine is all given to the incumbent. I mean, you go back and look at Liz Cheney, Harriet Hageman, right? And I mean, Harriet won that election by 60 points or something like that. I mean, Wyoming overwhelmingly said, Liz Cheney, get the F out of Dodge, okay? But if you go back, Mitch McConnell, who of course runs the purse for the GOP side, was giving money to Liz Cheney's campaign. You know, on your tax return, that little box on the first page says, would you like to donate $3 to the presidential election fund? Okay. That doesn't get distributed the way you think it does. That's given to the members of Congress who then decide who they want to give it to. Yeah, think about that next time you check that box. This is the problem. We can't get rid of, or let's put it this way, we can, but the morons, the uneducated voters in blue states, in most cities, don't take the time to figure out the issue, the way that their candidates stand on the issues. And so they're crooked as all belief. You can't tell me, I'm sorry, and we can go right into the presidency on this one. A month ago, 6 weeks ago, the Democrats were trying to figure out how to get Kamala Harris off the ticket because she was a drag on Joe Biden. And now, all of a sudden, she's kind of forced her way into it. Legal loopholes and everything. I mean, the money issue was huge, okay? And she had that in her kitty. It's like, fine, pick somebody else, but all this money you've raised you can't use. And they're like, crap, she's right. Okay, we're going to make her the candidate. 6 weeks ago, they were trying to get rid of her. Now we're supposed to believe that everybody loves her, and the media is fawning over her, and the brain-dead Hollywood elite are, oh, Rosie O'Donnell, I bought 100 Kamala Harris for president t-shirts, and I'm not changing until she's elected. Rosie, you're going to be wearing those shirts for the rest of your life because she ain't getting elected. But no, we have politicians that after all of we have to save democracy, have done everything they can to blow it up. Kamala Harris wasn't selected by the people. And then Jamie Raskin saying if Donald Trump is elected, they're going to overturn that election and install somebody who wasn't elected by the people. That's tyranny. That is not democracy. That's not the way this constitutional republic was designed. We have a whole bunch of people in Washington who rightfully need to be tried and convicted for treason. The reason they're so scared is because the Good Old Boys Network in Washington, D.C. is as corrupt as the day is long. Both sides working together, they've got all their little fingers in the cookie jar together. And they don't want somebody to come in to upset the apple cart. Hey, we've got this person under control. We can still do our little corruption act here, be it anything, China, Ukraine, the U.S. military-industrial complex, the drug companies, whatever. They can keep their corrupt act going. And they don't want somebody to come in who doesn't agree with that, i.e. a Donald Trump, because he'll put an end to the gravy train. They're all afraid that they're going to go to prison. They're all afraid they're going to be Bob Menendez, that it's going to be found out that they're corrupt. Not that we all don't know it already, but that there's going to be investigations into them, that it's going to come out, and whether or not they can cover it up, they don't know. This is the thing. We've said for a long time, and I'm still on this, I still think it's a 50-50 shot we have an election in 90 days. Because somehow, some way, the political overlords that we have are hell-bent on canceling it. Because they know they have a seriously flawed candidate in Kamala Harris. Not that Donald Trump's perfect, not by a long shot, okay? But she'll play the game. She's too stupid to figure anything else out. She's a puppet, and they need a puppet. They can keep going with the puppets. The question is this: how far do the people go? See, most of us understand the fact that our elected officials are figureheads. They really don't do much. The higher they get up in the ladder, the less authority they have. And you go, how is that possible? Think about it. The Congress people, the senators who have a tendency to make the most noise are the younger ones. Okay? The Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, my guy, Tim Burchett, you hear them. They haven't been corrupted yet. So they get out and tell the people the truth. The higher you get up the ladder, the more you are under control. And who are they under control of? People say all the time, oh, it's Barack Obama or it's Susan Rice that's running the show. No, it goes higher than that. People say, oh, it's George Soros, he's running the show. Maybe a little bit. Okay, it's higher than that. There is a group of overlords, and you can throw the Rothschilds into this, or any of those other old money families that are making the decisions. And they're not making them for the United States. They're making for, there's 3 or 4 guys going, okay, I'm going to move the pieces for Europe. You're going to move the pieces for North America. You're going to move the pieces for China or for Asia. I mean, they're doing it continent by continent. You're seeing all over the world, tensions are ratcheting up higher and higher and higher. They've talked for many times about how they need to depopulate the world. They're planning on it. They're going to let us do it to ourselves while they sit back and watch and then come in and pick up the pieces. That's their plan. When the people, the individuals, the you and me's, the average Joes, finally wake up to the fact that it shouldn't be red versus blue, or black versus white, or Asian versus Hispanic, or Muslim versus Christian, when we all realize that we aren't each other's enemies, when it really needs to be all of us against all of them. That's the war that needs to be won. It's about time the people in this world stand up, grow a set, and go, we're taking our world back. Nobody ever elected Klaus Schwab or George Soros or anybody in the Rothschilds or any of these other families to make decisions for us. They'll install another puppet if they can. They know Donald Trump is uncontrollable. That's why I think so many people like him, because he's not the status quo. He's not somebody that can be bought off or controlled. That's why they fear him. That's why they hate him, because he puts a stop to their plan. And I said years ago, 3-4 years ago, that Trump is what stands in the way of the globalism, period, okay? Because you cannot have a one world government without the United States. The rest of the world relies on us, whether it's for technology, whether it's for food, whether it's for innovation, whatever. The rest of the world cannot be independent without us. Again, I've said many times, some of you agree with me, some of you don't, I'm an isolationist. My personal answer is this: we shut down everything. You ain't getting squat from us. The rest of the world will be on their knees within a couple of years. Please, please help us, is the only thing they can do, because the rest of them can't figure out how to go to the bathroom without the U.S.'s help. Be ready for civil war. The politicians are telegraphing it. Their overlords have given them their marching orders and told them what to do. The media has been told what to do. Now they're trying to tell you what to do. No. Pinball out.